Uncertainty. It's something that all of us encounter at different points in our lives, yet we often feel a sense of discomfort or even fear when faced with it. We seek stability, predictability, and control. But what if we told you that the very thing you fear, the unknown, could be the key to unlocking profound growth, creativity, and wisdom? What if instead of avoiding uncertainty, we could learn to embrace it? The idea of embracing uncertainty isn't new. In fact, throughout history, some of the world's greatest thinkers have spoken on the transformative power of stepping into the unknown. From the ancient philosophers to modern intellectuals, the concept of uncertainty has been seen not as a threat, but as an invitation to question, to evolve, and to discover. Let's begin with Socrates, one of the earliest figures to explicitly engage with the notion of uncertainty. The very core of Socratic philosophy is built around the idea of recognizing one's ignorance. For him, ignorance wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was a starting point for deeper exploration. Socrates' approach was radical because it rejected the common assumption of his time that certain knowledge could be achieved. He found comfort in uncertainty, using it as a tool to stimulate critical thinking. Instead of providing clear answers to complex moral or philosophical dilemmas, he encouraged a state of intellectual humility where people were free to question long-held beliefs and assumptions. As we move to the 17th century, we find another figure who tackled uncertainty head-on, René Descartes. Known as the father of modern philosophy, Descartes confronted the uncertainty of the human experience in a profound way. In his work, Meditations on First Philosophy, Descartes famously began with radical doubt, questioning everything, his senses, the physical world, even his own existence. Descartes' approach was not to be paralyzed by uncertainty, but to use it as a foundation for rebuilding knowledge. By doubting everything, he ultimately discovered the one thing he could not doubt, his own thinking mind. From this certainty, Descartes built a new philosophy, one based on reason and the power of the individual mind. His emphasis on doubt as a path to truth redefined how we approach knowledge. For Descartes, uncertainty was not the end of the road, but the beginning of the journey, a way to break down illusions and find a more reliable foundation for understanding the world. Descartes' insights had a lasting impact, particularly on the rise of modern science. The scientific revolution that followed in the wake of his ideas was marked by an embrace of uncertainty. Uncertainty became a motivator for exploration, not a roadblock to progress. However, it was in the 20th century that thinkers like Albert Einstein and Jean-Paul Sartre would take the concept of uncertainty even further, each in their own way. Einstein's work in physics showed us a universe much more complex and unpredictable than we had ever imagined. Through his theory of relativity, he demonstrated how the very fabric of time and space could bend and warp, challenging the deterministic worldview that had dominated for centuries. Quantum mechanics tells us that at the fundamental level, particles do not have definite positions or velocities until they are measured. Instead, they exist in a state of probability, their exact properties only becoming known when observed. This inherent uncertainty in the physical world shattered the certainty that had been the cornerstone of classical physics. For Einstein, who famously said, "God does not play dice with the universe," this uncertainty was troubling. However, many of his contemporaries, including Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg, embraced it, recognizing that uncertainty was not something to be feared, but a fundamental aspect of reality itself. Einstein's discomfort with uncertainty ultimately led him to explore deeper questions about the universe, but his contributions, especially to quantum theory, pushed humanity to rethink our understanding of knowledge itself. His work reinforced the idea that the unknown is not something to avoid, but something to embrace. In doing so, he revolutionized both physics and our philosophical understanding of certainty and knowledge. Meanwhile, in the realm of philosophy, Jean-Paul Sartre's existentialism offered a radically different perspective on uncertainty, one rooted in the human condition. Sartre argued that life has no inherent meaning and that individuals must create their own purpose in a world that offers no guarantees. His philosophy suggests that we are constantly confronted with the unknown, who we are, what our lives mean, and what our future holds. Sartre's view of uncertainty as both a responsibility and a source of freedom is a powerful reminder that embracing the unknown can lead to profound personal transformation. His philosophy encourages us to take risks, to make choices, and to act, knowing that the path ahead may be unclear. It is in our response to uncertainty that we truly define ourselves. Today, as we navigate an ever-changing world filled with complexity and unpredictability, we find ourselves returning to these ancient and modern thinkers for guidance. In an age where information is constantly at our fingertips and the pace of change accelerates with each passing day, we face new forms of uncertainty. Technological advancements, shifting political landscapes, global crises, and personal dilemmas all contribute to the unpredictable nature of our lives. But rather than seeing this as a negative, we should see it as an opportunity. Uncertainty forces us to innovate, to adapt, and to grow. It challenges us to reconsider our beliefs and expand our understanding. As we look at the lessons of history, we see that embracing uncertainty has led to some of the most profound breakthroughs in human thought and achievement. Take, for example, the field of technology. Think of the uncertainty faced by pioneers like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. Both of these visionaries thrived in environments of unpredictability, forging new paths in industries that were still in their infancy. Jobs, with his focus on creating products that combined aesthetics with functionality, embraced the unknowns of design and user experience. Musk, with his ambitious goals for space exploration and sustainable energy, has continually pushed the boundaries of what is possible, even when faced with significant obstacles and doubts. Their successes didn't come from playing it safe. They came from embracing uncertainty and trusting in their ability to navigate through it. They understood that without uncertainty there could be no innovation. The unknown, in their view, wasn't something to avoid. It was the very thing that fueled progress. On a more personal level, we all experience moments when uncertainty shapes our decisions. Whether it's a career change, a relationship decision, or a life-altering event, uncertainty forces us to step into the unknown and make choices without a clear roadmap. But rather than being paralyzed by fear, those who thrive in these moments are the ones who can embrace the ambiguity and trust in their ability to figure things out as they go. As we reflect on the wisdom of the great thinkers, from Socrates to Descartes, Einstein to Sartre, and even modern-day innovators, we see a common thread. Uncertainty is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It is a tool for growth, a source of creativity, and a pathway to greater understanding. The unknown is where new ideas are born, where we challenge old assumptions, and where we make the discoveries that change our lives and the world. In our own lives, we can learn to approach uncertainty with the same mindset. Instead of fighting against it, we can choose to lean into it. We can view uncertainty as an opportunity to explore, to innovate, and to transform. So the next time you find yourself facing uncertainty, whether in your personal life, your career, or the larger world, remember the lessons of the great thinkers. Embrace the unknown, lean into the discomfort. Trust that, in doing so, you are not only navigating the complexity of life, but you're also paving the way for new wisdom, new opportunities, and new discoveries. As you move forward through life, let uncertainty be your guide. Let it inspire you, challenge you, and remind you that wisdom doesn't lie in having all the answers, but in being willing to ask the right questions and explore the vast unknown. Join us again on our quest through space and time as we unravel the mysteries, complexities, and fundamental truths of the world around us, traveling together on our journey down the path of greater intellectual wisdom.